right, let's begin. Over 30 countries offer working professionals, including self-employed, a new residence permit called the Digital Nomad Visa. Now, Spain and Portugal are the latest to launch this special visa. Under this permit, an individual who can work remotely away from their country of residence can get any entry into a country offering such a visa for a specified duration. We are joined by Ankur, Dhawan and Pankaj Mathpal to understand this and how these visa work. Ankur and Pankaj, good evening. Welcome to the show. And Ankur, definitely, it's quite aspiring, the digital nomad kind of lifestyle. You need to have visa, obviously, just a Wi-Fi connection, a job in your hand. But when we talk about digital nomad and the way countries are adopting to this format of lifestyle and especially work culture, how would you like to explain this to our viewers?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of, I'll say, employees who were allowed to work remotely, especially during the COVID time. And though the borders were closed, but many of the countries were allowing the citizens to come, these guys to come and work from these countries in the job which they were doing their own country. So let's say somebody from India, he wants to, during this COVID time or otherwise as well, wants to work from, let's say, Croatia, because he wants to explore Europe as well. So Croatia will allow them a digital nomad visa where they can come into Croatia and work with the company in India remotely. So there are few roles which are allowed to do that, typically in an organization where you are not supposed to do face-to-face meetings on a regular basis. Now, in the new environment, this will become much more popular because the roles which were made remote in the COVID duration, many of them are continuing to be continuing to be remote. So these guys can explore multiple countries and still at the same time work with their own company in the host country, the country where they used to work, and at the same time enjoy the culture of the new country. So that's a digital nomad visa in essential.
Ankur, also, what sectors do you think are actually allowing this?
And tech roles where you typically work remotely.
Okay.
These are the ones where you will be mostly getting jobs, remote job, and you can do from anywhere. Many times, freelancers also use this route to work from anywhere. I have seen some of the entrepreneurs who operate their company from remote, and they might be in yacht for 6 months in one of the remote countries and still working with their own team in the operations of the country. So these are but if you look at in terms of the countries, European countries, majority, if you look at the list of the countries who are offering this kind of visa, you'll find a lot of European countries are offering this visa. So that's the answer.
All right, but then there has to be some kind of a catch here, right? Pankaj, why do you think European countries are actually offering these kind of visas?
See, it's simply to attract the tourism, because we saw in during this pandemic, tourism industry was suffering a lot, and these countries, they found a way to attract tourists there. So it's basically vacation come working. So you're going on a long vacation there. It means you're staying there for 1 year or more than that, and working from there only. So it is a win-win for both individuals who can work remotely. They can work for India, suppose for example, and living in another country. And those countries who are offering this visa, they know that that person is not liable for the job in that country, because he has to have a secure job or a secure income and can live there. So spending in that country and earning from their own country. So that is the idea basically, that these countries are and countries have an offering this kind of visa.
Pankaj, haven't few nations also allowed individuals to work in their country also where they are currently stationed?
See, whole idea is that people should work in their own country where they're permanent resident, and the countries which are hosting them, they means initially, definitely after few years of staying, they can be allowed a permanent residency there. But initial idea is this only: either the students or the individuals who have a secure income, they'll be allowed for this program.
All right, but then under what conditions, Ankur, do you think the hosting country would allow you to work over there?
Yeah, I think they put a restriction in terms of how much you can earn
Okay.
from that particular country where you are actually living. So, because they don't want to encourage people to use it as an employment visa and work visa, where they come on a digital nomad visa and start working with the companies in that particular country. So, what they do is they limit the number of hours you can work, they limit the earnings you can have in that country from that particular country where they are hosted, rather than their home country. So, in certain conditions, they allow, but that's very limited. Idea is to have a tourism visa where you are allowed to work remotely rather than coming as a work visa in a country and trying to figure out a job in that particular country, in the host country.
So, Ankur, in a nutshell, your earnings are not really impacted. That is what we understand. I mean, it's a form of a lifestyle, a leisure lifestyle also that you get to enjoy, but then it has no impact on your earning, right?
Yeah, you should be able to earn the money which you were earning in your home country. And that's where the company who is allowing this kind of remote has to give it in writing to the host country that this particular employee can work remotely, and we allow him to work from a country outside of the home country, and we will pay him his salary, because you have to prove your salaries, and there are different limits which every country has put in terms of how much the individual must be earning if he's applying for the digital nomad visa. So it's not a cheap. I think you should be on a top strata of the society when you can enjoy this luxury of working in some other country, working from some other country, not in some other country.
So, Pankaj, here comes the financial planning, because you are going to be living in a country where you want to enjoy, explore also. So, most of you should make sure that you don't really spend off most of your earnings in this new adventure in life, or a new chapter in life, maybe, if that's what we can call it, based on the kind of new lifestyle it is. What are the things, or maybe the red flags that you should be careful of when it comes to your financial portfolio and your financial planning?
Kavita, I just, as Ankur said, that some countries are definitely allowing people to work for the limited earnings there. But you have to live with the income what you're earning in your country, or you should have some source of income. Then only you'll be allowed there. So you can understand you're earning, suppose, for example, an Indian person living in a different country and earning in INR. So earning in INR and spending in dollars or euros. So you have to understand that your income should really be high. Then only you can survive there. So first thing, initially you may find it very adventurous and you may like to explore this, but one has to understand, if your income is not really means that high, that your savings were much in India, then it will be difficult for you to survive in those countries, because your expenses will be much higher. So one is that purchasing power, that is one. And second thing, as I said, that you have to spend in dollars, and when you see the difference of INR and dollar or euros, so it becomes a big difference for you. So one has to plan it, and then only you think about it. Second thing, if you're going with the family, then whether suppose both husband wives are moving to another country, so whether both have income and which can help them to live in that country, that should be planned in beginning itself. So you have to understand that thing, that expenses are going to be more than what is spent in India, and your income will be same as you are earning here. Because when usually people go abroad to work there, they earn in that in the currency of that country, and even usually income is higher than only they leave their own country. But in this case, income is not going to increase. So that has to be planned in advance.
Right. So everything, as we already know, has its pros and cons. So one needs to be very good at planning their finances if one wants to opt for this kind of a lifestyle and work culture. Thank you so much, Ankur and Pankaj, for being on the show and explaining our viewers all about digital nomad visa. On that note, we slip into a short break, but then post that, let's connect with Harshvardhan Rungta, who will be sorting out all your queries of your financial portfolio.